Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while, but it's nice to be back on the channel, and today I'm going to be doing my NFL mock draft. Um, Big changes have went down in the past, say, month, NFL wise, and I am going to be doing an NFL mock draft the night before the draft, and let's see how many I can get right in this draft. Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be taking Trevor Lawrence. It's an easy choice for them. He's been projected number one since day one. Jets number two, Zach Wilson, quarterback. They need to replace Sam Darnold, and they need to, be competitive. They got a new coach. They brought in some weapons, and let's see what Zach Wilson can do in New York. 49ers, there's been a lot of speculation about Mac Jones. I could see that either going Mac Jones or Justin Fields. I'm going to stick with Mac Jones, though. I believe he's a great guy. He's got really good accuracy. He's really smart. He kind of reminds me of somebody like Peyton. He's not as mobile, but he's smart intelligently, and I think he could really thrive as a 49er. With the Falcons pick, I don't really know. I could see them taking Trey Lance here. I could see somebody trading up to the number 4 position. But in this one, I'm going to go Patrick Surtain. They need corner really bad, and I believe that could really help their defense. If they do trade Julio Jones, however, I do see them taking a wide receiver. Bengals, they need protection. They need Penei Sewell. Joe Burrow got slaughtered last year, and Penei Sewell would be an instant starter for their offensive line that needs a lot of help. Dolphins, they need a wide receiver. Yes, they got Will Fuller. Yes, they have Devontae Parker. But other than that, who else do you have? I see them taking Ja'Marr Chase. They could really go with any of the wide receivers in this draft. However, it's either, I believe, going to be Ja'Marr Chase or Devonta Smith. Lions, they need a wide receiver as well. They could take any of the top 3 guys behind whoever the Dolphins take. So in this one, I had Jalen Waddle going to the Detroit Lions to help out Jared Goff, and hopefully that can lead them to a little bit of success over there in Detroit. Panthers, they just traded Teddy Bridgewater. They have Sam Darnold. Yes, they could go quarterback here, but I see them taking Kyle Pitts. They need that star-studded tight end. They haven't had a good tight end since Greg Olsen left, and that would be a really good addition for Sam Darnold to just load him up with weapons, whereas he didn't have any in New York. Denver, this is going to be tough, but I see them taking Micah Parsons. He's such a stud at linebacker. We need a linebacker. Josie Jewell's good. He's good at run stuff, but other than that, he's not that great, and he's kind of slow. Alexander Johnson, he's been a good player for a couple years, but he is getting up there towards 30, and 30 can really change a guy's career. Cowboys, I could see them taking J.C. Horn or Caleb Farley. I could also see them trading down and getting one of those guys, but I have them taking Caleb Farley in this year's NFL draft. The Giants, I would say they would take Micah Parsons, but with this trade, I feel like the Giants are going to go out. They might take another wide receiver. They could take a Rashawn Slater. The Giants pick is really going to depend on what they really want to upgrade this year. And I could see them going wide receiver or offensive line. But in this one, I have them taking Rashawn Slater. The Eagles, they need a wide receiver. They will probably be the guy that takes the third wide receiver. I see them going either Devontae Smith or whoever is left. The Chargers, they need a defensive lineman or an offensive tackle. And I see them taking Elijah Vera Tucker. He's an outstanding player, and and they need help wherever they can get it. Vikings, they need a cornerback. Patrick Peterson, yes, they got him, but other than that, they don't really have much cornerback depth. And I see them taking J.C. Horn. Patriots, they could use offensive line. They could use a safety. But I don't think that there is a safety right now in the top 15 that is going to really be an impact. And I could see maybe the Patriots moving down. I see them taking... this one's really hard. I see them taking Christian Darrisaw. I think that, they need a replacement on some of those offensive lines, and they really could use some help for Cam Newton to, be able to have time in the pocket and then also be able to run with the ball. The Cardinals, they loaded up their wide receivers. They don't need wide receivers. They need offensive line. And I know there's a lot of offensive linemen going in here, but I don't really know. I see them taking an offensive lineman. It just depends on who falls to them. I don't think Jalen Mayfield will hit the first round, but, it'll be interesting to see who they take. Raiders, they need a pass rusher badly. Yes, they have that one guy, I believe his name is Maurice Hurst or whatever his name is, but I see them taking Chris Barmore. He's an outstanding player, and that just makes a lot of sense to me. Dolphins here take Kwity Paye. He's an outstanding player, and they could really use a little bit of defensive help there in Miami. Football team. This is interesting because Alex Smith retires on them. They bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick, but he's, 38, 39 years old. And, how much does he have left in his tank? I see them taking Trey Lance. I don't see them taking much else. I could see them taking a wide receiver, but I think they're just a little bit too high to take a wide receiver, because the next decent receiver is Rashad Bateman, and he's not projected until later in the first round. Bears, I see them taking Tevin Jenkins. They need some help at that position, and he's a pretty good player to help that Bears team, and help Andy Dalton in Chicago. Because maybe, Andy Dalton can revive his career with Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney and players like that. Colts, their defense is outstanding, but I believe their defensive line is a little weak. And they go out and they get a pass rusher like Gregory Rousseau, and that defense is stacked for Carson Wentz to, be able to have some mistakes and that team still be able to recover. Titans, I think they take Ojulari. He's a pretty good player. I don't know much about him, but I know that he can be a difference maker for the Tennessee Titans if he's coached right by Mike Vrabel. Jets. So they got their quarterback. Now they go out and they get a wide receiver. They go out and they get Rashad Bateman, and Rashad Bateman makes an impact immediately. And, maybe that Jets team can go 5-11 or 6-10 their first year with Zach Wilson, and hopefully rebuild that team to where, they can make the playoffs again. Pittsburgh, it's obvious here. Najee Harris, great running back, best running back in the class by far. He's a Derrick Henry 2.0. I could see that, and hopefully he can turn Pittsburgh around and make that offense good because, Big Ben's not going to be there much longer. Here with the Jags pick, I think they take Moehrig. This is the first safety going off the board. They need safety help. I don't even know who their safeties are because they probably are so bad. But I could see them taking a safety, helping out that defense, and maybe bring back, that defense they had in 2015, 2016. Browns, they're going to take Newsome. I don't know much about him. I don't know much of these picks later on, but I think they take Newsome and they really help out their team, become that stacked Browns team that we are watching build. And, it's really fun to watch the Browns, with OBJ and Jarvis Landry and Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and Austin Hooper and David Njoku, which, he hasn't been the player they wanted him to be, but and there's Myles Garrett and, all those players on that Browns team, and you see them and you're like, oh crap, Cleveland's here. As of like 3 years ago when they were 0-16 and everybody was like, oh, it's just the Browns. Just like what you just said in the playoffs. Ravens, they give Lamar Jackson what he needs. And I don't see where else they could go with this, except they need Kadarius Toney. And they get a great wide receiver to help out Lamar Jackson in that offense. And hopefully maybe he can become a number 1 wide receiver someday for them. Saints, I think they're going to take Jalen Mayfield. I know they have some decent offensive linemen, but they really need an interior offensive lineman that's really good. And I think that's not a bad pick for them. Packers, I think they're going to take Jalen Phillips, I believe is his name. I think that he could really help out the Packers. I don't know if they'll go wide receiver here because Terrace Marshall's not as good, but if they do go wide receiver, I do see them taking Terrace Marshall. Bills, I think they're going to take Samuel Cosmi. I think that he could really help them out and help solidify that offensive line for the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens traded with the Chiefs for this pick, so I think they're going to take a linebacker to replace Matthew Judon. They take Zaven Collins, and I've heard a lot about him. He sounds like a really stud player, and I think he'll be really good for them. Finally, with the 32nd pick in the first round, the Buccaneers select... I have no idea. I could see them taking a safety. I could see them taking... It's really hard with them, but I see them either taking an offensive lineman, or somebody like that. I could see them taking a player like Owe. They could use a defensive lineman. Ndamukong Suh's there, and Vita Vea's there, but other than that, they don't have much on the defensive line. And that is my first round NFL mock draft. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow after the draft, as I will be doing a reaction to the Broncos draft pick, as I am a Broncos fan. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.